Well, I watched Magic Mike for the first time. Can I mention that in the intro?
Hello and welcome back to the Battle Room. My name is the Battle Room, and today I'm joined by Raghav. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. I had an incredible weekend. I didn't get to participate in London, which you did, obviously, but as a spectator, I gotta say, this shit was lit.
It was a pretty banger weekend. Obviously, I guess we won't spoil it, but we have our finalists here, Wolfe Glick, which always means it's going to be a David Goliath battle, right? And I think this is truly a David Goliath battle. Dyl over here with only top 64 at Birmingham. That's actually nuts. And then obviously Wolf, you know what? He came in, he's kind of a world champion. Kind of just won the last event he went to. So this is a hype matchup.
Yeah, and to be fair to Dill, I don't think Wolf has gotten top 64 at Birmingham Regionals before.
That's true. That is fair. But yeah.
No, but this is part of a larger pattern that we've seen the last few ICs, where we had EUIC last year with Tim, right? What's his name again?
Tim Edwards, yes.
Tim Edwards, and then we had Pat Con in NASC finals. So we're seeing a lot of new players versus kind of an established player finals.
That's weird.
And it's really exciting because it could go any way. Like these times, I guess modern VGC, we're just seeing so many players break out and show that like, hey, it's we're just as good. Anybody could win a tournament, and so this isn't just like, oh, Wolf's gonna win. Like Dill has played like a monster to get here. I was watching some of their earlier cut sets, and it was just like so clean, super smart, like two steps ahead of their opponents at all times.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, even PatCon did manage to defeat Aruli in solo, which was absolutely nuts. Just played like a beast. So like totally, there's prep time. Obviously, I think Wolf with prep time is one of the scariest things in VGC. Like if there's one person I would not want to play with prep time, it is him. Like not because he's the world champion, because he uses it so efficiently. Like he is just disgusting and nasty with it. So let's look at these
Only
teams.
second to me, maybe.
Maybe you are nasty with the prep time too. Did not show recently, but that's okay.
You're so mean. It's true. It's true. No, but these teams are crazy. That's the other thing about this weekend. It's not just about who did well, but the teams in cut were quite diverse. I feel like post Worlds, there's been kind of a renaissance. Like, what the fuck is Wolf running, dude? That's a Koraidon, Gothitelle, Screamtail, Incinemungus. We haven't seen any of these Pokemon together. Like, Incinemungus is standard, but not on Koraidon.
No.
And Life Orb Koraidon.
Yeah,
the Screamtail with no attacking move. We're gonna see more details soon, so I guess I shouldn't like fully get into it. But yeah, and then on Dill's side, like, what the fuck? There's an instant Iron Fist on Maridon.
Yeah, I mean, Dill, like, I was actually talking about I was talking about this with you, where I was like, how, we were talking about teams, we were talking about building stuff. I was like, how do you make Maridon fresh? How do you do it? And Dill said, Iron Treads and Ensign. And I think I think Ensign especially is really, really cool on Maridon. I think it really fucks with the flow of the team and how you're supposed to approach it. So, like, I think Ensign on Maridon does sound cool, but we'll talk about that in a sec. We've got Wolf's team here, the GOAT. Yeah, let's talk about the team. This team is absolutely nuts.
All right. So I have a lot of thoughts on the team, just as I've been a fan of Wolf as long as I've been playing in terms of his play style, his team building, and I think this is just like out of nowhere in the format. Like nobody was expecting this kind of comp to work.
Yeah.
Especially like, look, the Screamtail has no attacking move. Like that's, how you have to position that to even like just make it not useless. So I also, just watching the stream set, have been able to like decipher some of the spreads. Koraidon and Fluttermane are both just max speed, max attack, trying to do as much damage as possible. Kind of the like focal point of offense for this team. And the Amoonguss, very interestingly, is not Rocky Helmet physically defensive, but is mental herb and like super specially defensive. And it's super important, like this matchup versus Maridon, super important versus Calyrex Shadow Rider. And then all the other sets are kind of like what you'd expect on a Perish team. The only notable thing is that Fluttermane does not actually have Perish Song, kind of needing all of its coverage.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I played Goth Koraidon. I want to say I did it first. But I didn't run Perish. But the thing about Goth Koraidon is it's disgusting. Like, Koraidon is a horrible nightmare Pokemon to deal with on its own. But being able to pair it with Gothitelle can get really, really tricky. And can get really hard to deal with, right? The fake out pressure is scary. But not only that, you have to be afraid of fake out, and then Screamtail could switch in. You have to be thinking about that. You have to be thinking about not being able to switch. You have to make sure your leads are pristine and precise into a matchup like this. And so I love Koraidon. He's like one of my favorite Pokemon to use, like restricted wise. And I think this is just a sick team. I'm not gonna use this myself. This is a little like fucking crazy, but yeah, I think the Life Orb is really sick as well because it just messes with everyone's perception of the Pokemon. Incineroar is obviously not the greatest into Koraidon as is. I was working around with loaded dice and I believe Covert Cloak as well, thinking about it. And I think it doesn't need to be Clear Amulet. It already beats Incineroar as it is. So like the Life Orb is a really cool tech. To just completely mess with everybody's calcs. Same with that CC there, right? That's just absolutely nuts.
Yeah, and this isn't Glaze. Like, despite what you might think, this video is not sponsored by Krispy Kreme, but like we are gonna glaze the fuck out of this because this team is not normal. Like it doesn't have spread moves. You have to be so precise with positioning, and that's why protect is so important. So you can protect, get your other fake out in, or to set up an Encore Disable pin. Like in some of his games, he will literally protect Koraidon, Incineroar will go down, he'll get nothing, but that's all you need just to get the Disable off, or like to get the Gothitelle in. So you have to really, really know how to like position this kind of team. And I mean, I just think the close combat over collision course with Life Orb is pretty genius. You start picking up crazy calcs like Urshifu. I mean, it's just like Shadow Rider in Sun, even at -1, Blitz is just nuking it. Like, these are like really creative choices we're seeing. And then as Incineroar has Protect for Perish, no knockoff, Blitz to abuse the Sun, and it is min speed, so you can Parting Shot last, but it also just like messes up some opposing Trick Room like teams. Like Incinemoongus becomes very annoying for Trick Room.
Specifically, yeah, like into Ice Rider as well. It's like such a good like tech. Just moving before it, whether you're hitting it with Flare Blitz or what, it's just nice. And then, yeah, the Fluttermane is also just like a max attack, like offensive demon, which has been seen on Koraidon before, but yeah, it's just a great set. It's just like, it's this perfect balance of offense and defense here, like, because it's almost too defensive, right? But then Koraidon and Fluttermane just barely push it over the top, that it creates like just this, it's just like, it's a sick fucking team. That's what it is. Like Wolfe, like whether you hate him or love him, Wolfe is a master of this game and a master team builder. And you have to respect the game. This guy is just nuts with it. And so this is just a sick team to see.
And the choices are just so meta relevant. Like max speed Koraidon caught a lot of CSR, caught a lot of Miraidon. It outsped a lot of Flutters after they, well, in the Sun, they get the speed boost. But like, you know, the max speed Koraidon's really good. And then the Fluttermane, everyone's running booster energy, like support. People forget that this was the offensive demon of every format before this.
Yeah. But yeah, and then obviously that Screamtail is a huge part of the Perish mode. Gothitelle, Wolfe knows. Like, the thing about Wolfe is he's going to get the most value out of these really defensive or these really precise pieces like Gothitelle. He's a Gothitelle master, right? There's no one better with Gothitelle than Wolfe Glick. And it's just such an oppressive Pokemon to play with. I don't know if it's going to come to this matchup, but every single time you're always thinking about it, no matter what. Like when I used it, even my opponents were like, dude, the whole time I was thinking about your Gothitelle. I'm like, dude, I didn't want to bring it. I didn't care. But that's something that he can play with and abuse, right? Is that they're so afraid of the Gothitelle.
Yeah, I mean, this team is so powerful, but it's so unintuitive. So he really has mastered the positioning of it all. And I think he has options. Like in previous sets, he has brought all like different modes in like game 1, 2, and 3. And I've seen Gothitelle, Screamtail come to Miraidon, but I've also seen it not. I've seen him just go with the other 4. So I think it's going to be really interesting finals. And I'm really curious as to what modes he goes for, because Dale's got some different Pokemon. Like, there's no Ogerpon Fire, there's no Whimsicott. There's just Instant, which changes a lot, I think.
Yeah, and I think also, like, a huge advantage of this format is Wolfe is running something so weird that no one has practice against, right? No, maybe Dyl does because they were able to practice at night, but even then, this is such a weird team that it's going to be hard to find a practice partner who can pilot this perfectly, you know? Like, this is a crazy fucking team.
Yeah, I mean, this team is so powerful, but it's pretty unintuitive. Like, you really have to master the positioning of it, and, you know, Wolfe has, and that's a huge advantage. Like, it's really difficult to practice against it, and that's something he's done his whole career, where it's like, you have an advantage because your opponent has no practice into this. It's not standard. It's super wonky. Even in an open team sheet, it's like, I don't have, like, practice against this entire type of strategy.
Yeah, it's a complete unique strategy to Wolfe, which is absurd. Like, it's crazy that, like, obviously he's the best player of all time, but he's also using a strategy that no one else knows how to play against, which is giving him another advantage because he's just so good at team building.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is gonna be the third video where it's like, is Wolf the best Parish player? Yeah, no shit.
But yeah, so I do think Dill's team was pretty cool. This is a very interesting, different take on Maridon. Like I mentioned earlier, it was like, how do you make it different? How do you make it new? And Dill did that, right? Like, giving Iron Treads gives you an amazing matchup into yourself in the mirror, but also Incineroar, I think, is amazing on Maridon. I mentioned this a little earlier. Like, I think it's so difficult to play against Maridon as it is, but Incineroar is kind of like moving those lines of how much damage you get to do to Maridon, right? Like, Incineroar is able to intimidate stuff like, it's able to work on stuff like Ice Horse with the knockoff, the U-turn. It just kind of skews matchups that you might, like, you're like, oh, I know how to play against normal Maridon, but do you know how to play against Instant Maridon? Sure, but it's a little bit different, a little bit harder to grasp right away, and it can give you a huge edge in a tournament like this.
Yeah, it's nice to have double fake out with their Shifu, another pivot, which is like, it synergizes so well with Volt Switch Maridon. The interesting part about this is it doesn't have parting shot. It has U-turn. So Dill, like, saying, I don't want to get taunted. I want to, and might as well take some chip, you know, break some sashes. So I think that's really interesting choice. The other thing is, like, there's a lot of creativity within the spreads of Pokemon. A lot of Maridons are trending really bulky. I don't actually know how Dill EV'd their Maridon, but these are the choices that we don't even necessarily see that can, like, kind of further your creativity. We also see, like, a really crazy Ferrograph set. It has Roar, and I'm not exactly sure for what specifically, but it does fuck over Trick Room, and it lets you protect Roar to switch. Even though nothing on the team except Urshifu has Protect.
It's also Dark Fu, which is a little bit weird. I mean, Dark Fu is not, like, super crazy on Maridon, but I would say it's not the more popular one. It's definitely Water Fu. So yeah, I think, and then otherwise, I think, like, the Iron Hands, the Maridon are all they're pretty standard stuff. Nothing too crazy. Terra Poison on Iron Hands is pretty unique, but outside of that, yeah.
Yeah. No, Terra Poison's been more common just because you don't want to be weak to fire, like Cherry Wren, Terra Bug, Iron Hands. Poison still resists Fairy, still resists opposing fighting types. You do stay weak to Psychic, but I think you're just, like, you don't really care if it's from a Fergraph or something.
Yeah.
So, yeah, other than that, it is, like, pretty established good sets, good Mons, Drain Punch, Low Kick, Heavy Slam, no Wild Charge, and
which I think is the standard now, I would say, on him, on Iron Hands. But yeah, wow, 11-game win streak is actually really nuts here. Going
it's
into
so
it
nuts.
with momentum here. Round 5 on Friday, all of day 2 undefeated, completely all the way till finals here. This would be the first time they could lose. Absolutely nuts.
And they're winning the Drip War. I think their hair is really sick.
The hair is nice. I would say we got the friends too to support. Let's go. Going nuts.
I don't know if Wolf has that many friends. I'm just saying.
Where's the Wolf friends? We got to see the counter friends here. But yeah,
keep in mind this is taking place in Britain, Dill's home region, whereas Wolf is kind of the colonizer here.
The invader, if you will.
Yeah, I won't say colonizer. They're both colonizers, but.
But also, like, I think Wolf wants this one, obviously. Like, I think at this point, like, Wolf wants to cement that he's the best player of all time. And any international win, regional win, is going to keep just pushing that narrative. I mean, if you don't believe it already, right? Like,
it's good for the YouTube. It's good for his personal satisfaction. It's just like, if you don't know Wolf, he is a psycho competitive freak. All right, and I'm not saying that's a negative. I think it is his strongest trait is that he is one of the most competitive people that I have ever seen. And that's why he keeps doing so well. He has nothing to prove to anyone but himself. And he keeps proving it. So I have no doubt in my mind that this is going to be, like, a crazy set. And we're straight into leads already. So we got Flutter Koraidon from Wolf into Incineroar Shifu. I wasn't sure if the Urshifu was going to come out, just because it is pretty bad into Koraidon. True. But I can see Dill being really scared of the Gothitelle and just wanting to put on pressure onto that Flutter too.
Yeah, and same with the Screamtail. Like, you can't protect turn 1 away from this thing. So, like, it's a classic lead. Incineroar Shifu gets the job done. But yeah, I think also Incineroar is so good into non-clear Amulet Koraidon. Like, it does provide a lot of value.
And Dill's using an archetype where, like, I don't even think you need to Terra anything else necessarily. So if you really need to, you can Terra out of the Fighting Week and just, like, Terra Ghost U-turn. Honestly, super uncertain what Wolf should do. I feel like no matter what, you're taking a damage trade. Switching Flutter out to take a Wicked Blow is really smart. get an Intimidate off, and now Koraidon is sitting nice and pretty. I do like the play that he's going for.
And I think getting rid of dealing that damage to Urshifu is big, right? Breaking the sash is so important. Fluttermane is probably also the most important Pokemon in this matchup. It's faster than Iron Treads in the sun, and then it is faster than, and it does help with Miraidon a lot as well. So we're going to see a classic Fake Out from Incineroar and a classic Wicked Blow into Incin. That's a really safe play from Dyl. I like it though. It gets the job done, right? Nothing too lost here.
I like the plays from both players here.
Yeah.
Wolf just kind of repositioning and getting the Intimidate off, and Dale saying like, okay, I don't want to make a crazy hard read. It's game one. Let's just get a little chip out there, solid chip.
I think both players just don't lose from that play, right? It's a very like neutral stage kind of play. Like nothing's really happening here.
Here, I think Dill really does want to get that Incin out, or just like Terra, and not, just get blown up by the Koraidon. And the other thing is Wolf has Fake Out Live, so a Protect Switch or like a Protect Terra is something I could see reasonably from Dill's end. We see Wolf actually just switch the Incin out, baiting the Fake Out pressure.
Yeah, and I like that play from Wolf too. I think it is relatively safe. You aren't ever going to take really a Wicked Blow on that slot. So I imagine for the most part here, the worst case is U-turn, which does kind of suck. Don't get me wrong. Losing your sash does suck, but it's not a huge deal. And we are going to see that Terra Gross right off the bat from Dyl, just to keep that Incin like alive, because it's a huge part of this matchup. I do think spamming these Intimidates is really good, and it is just so good into all the Pokemon here.
And there's the Protect or the Detect from Urshifu not wanting to get like Fake Out CC'd. So I think this is a pretty positive turn for Dyl. Ooh, and they break the Sash on the Flutter. That's
money.
Pretty nice.
That's money. I mean, that couldn't have been a better turn from Dyl, like in my opinion. So now you get to go and you get to see what you won't even want to go into. Because obviously you do have Miraidon, which now is at the mercy of Fluttermane for the entire game, right? Like it makes it easier. But we're gonna see that Farigiraf coming in. And the shiny Farigiraf with the blue nose as well.
Farigiraf is a really interesting bring because there's no like priority being threatened on the field. Maybe Dyl is saying like, maybe I can bait a Trick Room. Maybe if I get into Trick Room, this game could get a lot harder for Wolf. But I feel like right now, Wolf is just free to attack their Shifu slot, and you can see him going for Shadow Ball Blitz. Like any two combination of moves will knock out that slot. I feel like if you just Shadow Ball Blitz it.
Yep, and if he does manage to catch like Incineroar here, it is just like really incredible for Wolf. Like just get it out of here, switch out your Koraidon, and for the rest of the game you cannot be intimidated, which is super lit. And so Wolf just made like a really safe punish play here, right? Like I think he's just playing so far from this game, first 3 turns, super reserved, super safe, clinical Wolfe Glick.
No, this is beautiful because if Wolfe Glick Moonblast, I actually think the Blitz plus Rocky Helmet recoil would have been a lot worse too.
True.
But this Shadow Ball is probably gonna do like 80%.
It's just optimal, right? It's just so optimal. Oh my god. I mean, it is a max attack Fluttermane, or max special attack, right? Like, they don't make them like that anymore. This shit goes hard. Incin out of here too, with a nice critical hit to top it off, right?
I think Wolf takes that trade. I mean, Koraidon's at -2 now, so that is something important for Dyl to think about. You can set up a free Trick Room here, and now Miraidon can just start spamming damage. Or honestly, their Shifu with Wicked Blow too.
And
But I feel like Wolf is happy with this.
Dyl forcing the Terra too, like Wolf locking on that flare, but it's to make sure Shifu goes down, is just really, really good for Dyl. Now it makes the game a lot easier. This is looking really good. Urshifu can come in as well now too, and just threaten a KO on either one.
Yeah, the important thing is though Dyl cannot Terra out of the weaknesses to fighting from the Koraidon, so close combat's just gonna bring it down to Sash.
True, but then
So
also
Wicked Blow's gonna take out Fluttermane here if they go for it.
Right.
What is Farigiraf doing? Do you think we're gonna see a Miraidon switch?
I think we could, but I also think maybe you just like I don't know if you actually really want a Psychic. I think one of them is going to switch. Like Incin is coming in on Wolf's side no matter what here, but it's just a matter of which one do you want to call, right? Like I think we're actually gonna see him staying with both. Okay, so instead of he just really wants that Sash. He really wants that Sash, which is fair.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think Wolf's realizing that like pivoting isn't really even worthwhile. I just need to get some damage trades.
And now Urshifu is knocked down a Sash, the Life Orb, the CC. So now I think you do get to go into Amoonguss quite freely, right? I think do you go to Amoongus first? Or you go to Ensign first because I think Koraidon needs to switch because you need to keep Koraidon healthy. Otherwise, I do not know how you're killing Miraidon.
Yeah, at this point, Miraidon is just looking like it's gonna go wild. You can't hit through the Rage Powder, which is really important right now. I think
Yeah.
you could Sludge Bomb. Yep, Sludge Bomb that slot, switch to Ensign,
That's a play I like.
and yeah, Sludge Bombing the Furgraph could be a crazy move.
Because like
I think Dyl is probably gonna switch out the Urshifu and just Psychic. I think is probably the play I would go for.
yeah, because Koraidon is at the mercy of his life orb now. So like you don't really care if it does like CC your Miraidon. So like I do think you get, like you said, just switch out Miraidon and then you cover for almost everything.
Yeah, you get rid of the Spore, you get your Electric Seed boost too, and it's a -2 Koraidon. It's not doing a crazy amount.
Yep, just a safe, clean play. I think Wolf played pretty safe too. I mean, that turn 4 was a little risky, right? But it was more just saying like, I think I win the game as long as I break the sash. So I'm gonna let you take a KO. You can pick which one you want, and I'm okay with either. But I think Wolf's in a tricky spot now.
Yeah, I think Wolf, honestly, the turn that he killed the Ensign was the turning point. It initially looked like just a free safe kill on that slot, but he actually needed to prevent the Trick Room setup. I
Yeah.
think it might be too little too late now. There's not enough to kill the Miraidon. Ensign only has Blitz, which is resisted. Furgraph's at +1 defense.
Wolf calls this play though outright, which is pretty hard. And then Dills just goes for a nice safe psychic, yeah. Because again, Koraidon's starting to kill itself, so this is free good play. How do you is Wolf just absolutely cooked? What could he do to save this game? Because I think Dill just takes this one like cleanly, right? You just lock into, you could just Volt Switch, you could Psychic the Amoongus and Volt Switch Ensign, and you're not really punished here. You can't fake
I
out.
think if you find a way to make it a 1v1, maybe close combat can just kill Miraidon. But at the moment, I think there's just not enough gas in the tank to prevent the
It's just hard to kill a
Miraidon
seed,
from going.
a seed Furgraph, and the Urshifu in time. You know.
Yeah, I think Sludge Bomb Blitz isn't gonna take it out, especially because we just saw the sun go away. Wolf has to get every turn perfect, and still,
forgot.
I think they'll just attack.
I do think this is a start though, like just slowly, just baiting that electric move into Ensign seems like the best play, but there's not much. Like Amoongus is going to eat a Psychic here, and he's going to go down to the third one. You could honestly also just even Gleam at this point. I wouldn't even hate that, but works out. Drift is totally fine, totally safe. Because now you're threatening a
I like
KO.
Lift. Just make sure everything dies.
Yeah, because this looks cooked.
Yeah, I think there's literally nothing Wolf can do at this point. I think the rest of the game, Wolf is just gonna like use the time to try and come up with a new game plan for the next game.
Yeah, I
But,
mean, like we hyped up
They can
Wolf
just
as
double
this,
attack.
this master prepper, and then Dale just played this clean. Like this was just really intense trading with the Urshifu. The Urshifu did a lot of work this game.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing about prepping is like you don't get to prep against your opponent. You prep the
Yeah.
matchup, but your opponent might come up with a different plan. And I do think we didn't really get to go into this too much, but I think Dyl has the matchup advantage. And this might just be my like unfamiliarity with Wolf's team, but it just looks so fucking crazy. And I think Ensign is a huge deal on this Miraidon team since that Koraidon is not Clear Amulet.
Right, yeah, the Ensign is a huge thing. Like I mentioned earlier, sometimes like those little things, those little additions, the slight mon changes can make all the difference in a matchup. Like, I mean, like this, like Dill was preparing for this, but yeah.
Yeah, and then we see the Ensign go down. Again, Dyl can just split attacks till the end of time. Electric Terrain still has some time. I think if you just double attack, you win.
Yeah, because I think Koraidon does take itself out now, so I'm not sure. It might live with like one, but I think it's down. It doesn't really matter though, because at this point, yeah,
Dyl
Giraffe.
isn't a Pokemon.
Yeah,
Anyway.
Giraffe can't even die, and then you're always threatening a KO. So yeah, this was a very, very clean one. I think Wolf still played it pretty well. It was just that one turn, like committing the Terra, committing the resources. Like it seemed like a good trade at the time. I think Wolf made a good play, but it ended up kind of spiraling into the situation where the Giraffe became unkillable, and the two offensive threats of Wolf's team lost all their HP.
Yeah, I kind of like how Dyl like preserved the Miraidon in the back because Wolf has so few offensive tools, and he led with both of them. So Dill was kind of just like, okay, you get your shit out. You hurt me right now, but
Yeah.
I'm a win once this Maridon comes in. I'm just trying to deplete your resources.
Yeah, it was a really. I mean, you're like, oh wow, that just cleanly was
So
the
that is a
CC.
really important calc. Maridon actually barely lived that.
Oh, he lives with 2. Let's go.
Regardless, this does not matter. But this is again, I think since for a couple turns now, Wolf's just been playing for information and time to kind of formulate another game plan. But that is really good to know because I think the close combat calcs totally depend on the opponent's spread.
Yeah, that is a huge one. But like, how do you adjust if you're Wolf? Because this is a pretty dominant game. All things considered, I felt like both they were making good, safe, passive plays until Dill got quite ahead. But so like, how do you adjust as Wolf here? You're like, damn, that was a rough one. I mean, Wolf's an expert player, but what do you think?
I think you need to prevent the trick room setup, or if you do, you can't let Dill like um have both like just have offensive pressure without the Amoongus inside. Like you need to be putting on pressure in trick room.
Yeah.
I feel like Wolf was out of position with both the offensive mons in range or like neutralized. Like the Koraidon was at -2, so I think Wolf needs to switch up the lead maybe to either preserve like an offensive mon for the late game, or just prevent trick room up altogether.
Yeah, because I think if you have Trick Room up, but you're like, Trick Room's fine as long as Amoongus is redirecting for Koraidon or Flutter, right? Like, when it's just redirecting for Instant, it's just not really doing enough.
Yeah, and I like what you said earlier about Flutter being kind of the key mon in this matchup, because Flutter can really chunk that Farigiraf without any like crazy like it's not gonna take recoil. Moonblast just does probably like 45% because it's max special attack.
Yeah, because it's definitely just max 4 HP, right? Maybe not even 4 HP.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, because like it is Sash Flutter, and honestly, that is one of the best pieces of Koraidon. One of my absolute favorite parts of using Koraidon with Sash Flutter is like it just feels so good. It's so amazing. But yeah, going into game 2 here, like you said, I think you kind of maybe want to lead like, because I think Wolf probably brings the same 4 Pokemon, and I think you probably lead like Incin plus Flutter or Koraidon or Amoongus plus Flutter or Koraidon. You just stagger them a little bit, and I think you're probably in a much better spot. I'm thinking you just lead Flutter Incin. That would be maybe the lead I would think about.
I do like Flutter Instant as well. I'm just a little scared of like a Maridon like getting a free Volt Switch or something, but I think Wolf knows his margins are thin, and he's gonna play like a madman.
Yeah,
I think he knows better than we do what to do here.
exactly. Yeah, but like it is. I think it's kind of neat that the game 1 went to Dill, because I said Wolf with prep time so scary, and to me, like I always think Wolf's winning that game 1. So to see him on the back foot is going to be kind of exciting, because a lot of this will probably just be in the moment adaptations, right?
I think that just shows that you have a really weak mind, and Dill was ready to take on the challenge. Because
Hey, I mean,
I
like,
think you would have lost the first game for sure.
who would have known? Maybe
Wolf.
Maybe Dill's a god prepper, and we're just about to see the dominance of Dill, and this was just the beginning, right? Like,
That's true.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I do think Dill has a good matchup, but it is just these like these turns are volatile as fuck. That's the
Yeah.
other thing. It's not like the 2 standard matchups that have been practiced where they know their margins. I think they're even after their prep, they're learning on the fly. They're making like these really big macro decisions of like, oh, actually if I just sack my instance, it's fine because I get Trick Room up and I'll make the comeback with my Urshifu Maridon. And even the Wolf had like pretty much full health on every Pokemon.
yeah, I mean, I don't think Wolf played bad by any means. I just think that like he followed some lines that he thought would work out, and then it led to a position that didn't favor him at all. So we're gonna see the same lead from Wolf. Like he said, "Fuck you guys. I know what's right. I'm doing the same thing."
Yeah, Dill is actually the one that's switching it up. And this might work well for Wolf because the last lead was pretty fucking annoying for Flutter Koraidon.
I like this lead from Dill too. Just changing it up is totally fine. I think this lead is pretty solid, right? This is a free fake out Trick Room if you want it. You are gonna eat a free Moonblast here, so that does kind of suck.
Yeah, if I'm Wolf, I'm switching out and Moonblasting every time. But it looks like he's going for a more aggressive play. Dill's definitely got to be afraid of just losing the instant straight up. I could see a Terra. Or just a fake out on the Koraidon and get that Trick Room up for free. Because you don't want to lose Farigiraf either.
Yeah, I think you have to fake out Koraidon because Wolf does like Friggref can't really Terra out of a CC Moonblast or whatever. I don't know what Terra it is. Maybe Flare Blitz Moonblast.
Oh, it's actually Terra Water. So if you switch to Miraidon, there's a chance you live with the Electric Seed too. But I think then you're saying that your Miraidon might just take like 80%.
Yeah, you're not wanting to risk this turn. Special Strike Drop, that's nice. We'll take those. I think this is
we see
better.
Moonblast doing a lot.
Trick Room's going to go up, but now I think Wolf can stall some turns, right? Flutter's Sash is still intact. Koraidon's full HP, and we did half the Friggref. So, like, I think even though it kind of sucked, it's still not a... Like, Trick Room is up. That's something we have to deal with. It's not too bad for Wolf that he can just navigate into Incin and create a better position for himself here. And also, these Pokemon aren't really threatening Wolf's Pokemon. Well, I guess Flare Blitz Psychic can one-shot Flutter, but... Obviously,
Flutter is definitely being threatened, so I like Wolf's idea to just like switch it out right now, and nothing really wants to switch in either. So Wolf had free reign to like blitz or CC either target. I'm scared of CCing because the instant could just easily Terra Ghost.
Yeah.
But I actually didn't notice what he locked in, so let's see how this turn goes.
The knockoff, get rid of that life orb. That's pretty nice, and it's gonna be a psychic. You know it's a psychic. Whoa, it's reversing the Trick Room. Holy moly!
No, dude. It's not clicking TR. There's no reason to do that.
Oh, it's pressing Roar?
Is it side roaring or?
Oh my god! What the fuck? Okay,
so Dyl knew that they were gonna live the CC maybe.
And Dyl totally expected Flutter to switch. There's no reason not to break the Sash. That was a hard read, and Dyl just got that. That was just really nice. That was nasty.
That was a crazy turn. I think that's actually so smart because you don't want Miraidon to take any chip.
Yeah, it was just a free way to get your guy in, and I think they probably ran the calcs that they were living that hit. You know, like they definitely were, right? You would have to think that was an expertly planned.
It seemed like a roll.
it was a well played. It worked out perfectly though. This is the exact position you want to be in. Miraidon in TR next to the anti-fake up mon. Perfect turn from Dyl there. That was actually so nasty. Wolf's like, what the fuck, dude? This is bullshit. What is this?
No, that was beautiful.
That was awesome.
Wow. Yeah. No. That's crazy. Koraidon's at -1. No life orb now. All Wolf can do is parting shot here. Okay, Dyl just made another like really good. It's a micro read. Like Wolf's never clicking fake out. Like last turn, Wolf was never attacking with Flutter. It's under too much pressure, and I really like getting the fake out back this turn because Koraidon's protecting. Guess what? Fake out's coming next turn.
Oh my god. And like obviously Wolf isn't out of this. You can just whip this parting shot. You can navigate into a decent spot. Incin is great at diffusing situations like this, but still, this is so, I mean, if there's a Volt Switch or something nuts here from Wolf, this would be nasty. I mean, at this point Wolf just has to weather these Trick Room turns, right? Like you need to keep Flutter safe and you need to survive 4 more turns of this shit.
Yeah, it's nice that Flutter still has the Sash intact. I think you always go to Amoonguss here. Wolf probably just thinking ahead, taking a sip of water. He knows he has to go to Amoonguss. Whoa, we got a honk outside. I think they're saying Wolf's taking too long to switch that Amoonguss in.
Bring that guy fucking in. And the Volt Switch, okay, into Miraidon's okay. If that was into Amoonguss, this game was cooked, right?
Into Koraidon.
Koraidon, yeah.
No, this is a great position for Dyl again. You just fake out the Amoonguss and get that kill.
Yeah.
Get the Volt Switch, right?
And now something has to eat the Volt Switch. That's the big thing here. Something is going to take damage.
Yeah, Amoonguss is really nice at redirecting, but it can't do anything else. And Wolf's not putting enough offensive pressure on the board right now. Dyl positioned perfectly with fake out. They are -1 after the parting, so I think this instant's probably gonna live with like 35, 40-ish% maybe. Depending on Wolf's spread. I feel like he's probably physically defensive, but I could be wrong.
It is -1, right? That's the big thing. But yeah, this is a free turn.
Specs in terrain. It's gonna do a shit ton still. So the Volt Switch does... Wow. Okay, yeah, that did a little less than I thought. So that's like 55, right?
I mean, honestly, Wolf's... Like, I will say, this isn't great, but the damage Wolf has slowly... Like, he hasn't taken too much damage where this game is unwinnable, right? Like, Giraffe took a Moonblast. Incin's at 1 HP, right? This is like... And Wolf is basically a full HP... he's a full HP Flutter and a mostly full, like, half HP Koraidon. So his, like, resources are not drained yet. He can easily still make the comeback if he stalls the Trick Room here.
Now, this is actually really, really good at stalling the Trick Room here. Um, Clicking Volt Switch means Miraidon's not on the turn again to, put on a bunch of fucking pressure.
Yeah.
So Wolf is maneuvering out of the Trick Room and saying, look, all your Pokemon are in Blitz or CC or Moonblast range. I just need to get out of this damn Trick Room.
He needs to get like 1 or
Oh,
2
we should
KOs.
have on Instant. Very smart.
And the Sludge Bomb, getting a KO here is huge. Because that means all of Dill's Pokemon cannot protect now. Well, actually, none of them ever could. But either way, none of them can protect, and Trick Room is over. So that's really amazing. But this seems like a really good spot to set it up. Oh, we're going to Iron Hands. I guess you don't want to set up Trick Room again, but I think maybe Fergraph might have been better there, right?
Yeah, I'm a little confused at that decision to not go into Fergraph, but I think Dyl is saying I want to click Fake Out, and maybe they know that their hands is faster than Instant because Instant's mint speed.
And maybe they know too that there's just like, this is a Fake Out Volt Switch. I'll get my Fergraph back in and just start threatening that again.
Yeah, but if you're out of position, if Wolf can get the Koraidon back in, then that Trick Room is not going back up, actually.
True. It is. This is a tricky one. This is a weird position. Miraidon can lock into anything. We have Fake Out live. Like, Dyl has the resources right now. Fake Out on Amoonguss, sure. What's it going to go?
It did a shit ton.
It's going to go for Volt Switch. Okay, so it's just going to take the KO. I think Wolf is so okay with this now, though. Because now you get to go into Koraidon for free, reset up your Sun, and threaten a free... Is it just CC Rage Powder? Like, just get the guaranteed kill on either Fergraph or threaten a ton of damage on Miraidon.
I can't see a reason not to. I feel like Wolf has literally just won the game now. Although it does kind of depend on how much this Heavy Slam is going to do.
That is true.
I think Heavy Slam could take out Amoonguss, but even then, you just Moonblast and Flare Blitz the Miraidon once it comes in. It could get tricky. It just kind of depends on if Heavy Slam's going to take out this Amoonguss or not.
That's true. I'm thinking it can't without the terrain is the big thing here. So
there's no terrain.
There's no terrain, yeah. So, like, Dyl would have to sacrifice their Miraidon to a CC, which it's not Life Orb, so it will guarantee live, because Miraidon hasn't taken damage. So, yeah, I think that's the play you have to make.
That's too much. That's too much. Too many resources.
Yeah.
Yeah. At this point, I think a Blitz would kill Miraidon. Oh no, Iron Hands it wouldn't either.
Yeah, Iron Hands is
actually
full.
this could be worth it.
Iron Hands could go the
Fluttermane
distance.
has Sash attacked.
It's going to be actually really close. The Sash being attacked is huge. Wolf preserved that expertly from turn 1. CC, now this guy's...
I think Wolf has just enough resources.
The big thing here is he does have to blow a Flare Blitz into Iron Hands at some point. Oh, low kick!
Wait,
no!
Why did they low kick?
They didn't.
Doesn't make any sense.
They called the no Rage Powder. Powder.
I don't think Wolf ever has the room to do that.
Yeah.
It was just a hard read there, I think. I think you have to go for Heavy Slam. But maybe Dill's saying, I don't think it dies. Like, Amoonguss is a fat guy. Even though it's specially trained, I think maybe it had a little too much health, and Dyl was playing to a throw.
Yeah. And I mean, like, also, the entire set, I would argue that Dyl has been playing a very specific way, like, very punishing to Wolf. That play felt like something they had done all game, but it just didn't work out here.
Yeah, I mean, I can respect the play, especially because, like, the margins are so thin. Wolf has been playing a little different every time. But I would have been really curious to see how it would have played out if Heavy Slam picked up the Amoonguss there.
Low key, does Dyl have Terra or no? They do, right? Could Terra...
Dyl has Terra, so this...
Could Terra
this
Poison
isn't
go the
over.
way? Could Terra Poison go the way? Because if you Terra Poison, and you have to... Like, Moonblast won't pick up the Giraffe, so can't you just Trick Room, Terra Poison, low kick the Koraidon, and does that not win, right? Oh,
No, I think you just double the
you
hands.
just double the hands. Yeah. Nope, that plays the right play.
But does it barely live, maybe? Because it's not Life Orb anymore?
I don't know. Yeah, you're right. I mean, because this is a Jolly Koraidon, right? We saw it outspeed Shadow Horses on stream. I'm thinking this is a max speed Jolly Koraidon.
Yeah, I think if the Iron Hands can just clinch on.
Yeah, because
This
if
is
you
over.
just get Drain Punch off, That's all you need. You just need to kill Koraidon right now, and you trick room. So this has to KO. Wow,
I mean, I
that's a
think Wolf's
negative.
making his only play.
That's pretty lit.
That did so little. I don't know if Blitz gets that.
There's no way, right?
What? Is that a crit?
No way. I thought it was a crit for sure. I thought that was
No
a crit.
Oh my god. I think Koraidon's just a beast, and we're massively underestimating it.
Sun,
Like, that's
Terra, Blitz. Yeah, it's kind of nuts. It's crazy multipliers.
just gnarly. Yeah, and I think at this point the game's over.
Yeah, Fluttermane
like,
just
obviously.
wins.
Yeah.
It could win without its sash at this point. That's crazy. Fluttermane
Wow.
still has its sash, by the way.
This was a crazy game. The whole time I wasn't really certain who was gonna like get the advantage at the end of the day. I think Wolf really stalled that trick room well. Just like parting shot into Amoongus, pivot, eat the hit with your non-damage dealers.
I kind of felt like this was Wolf's plan to the trick room in game 1 too. He's like, I have these guys in the back. I can make it work. But yeah, he played that expertly. That was just a classic diffusal of trick room. I really thought though, I think Dyl was playing to that poison hands endgame, and I thought it would live. I thought they played that perfectly, but unfortunately it just died. So that's rough. Wolf planning for
Maybe
game.
that's a roll. I'm still shocked that wasn't a crit, man.
I am too. That was actually nuts, right? Because Iron Hands usually they kind of run the same spread. It's like max special defense. This is usually min speed, right? So like it's all into attack and bulk. So I just thought the guy could live. Maybe we just overestimate how goated Iron Hands is.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the assault vest is on the special side, so probably limited investment physically. Wolf just taking more time to probably
yeah.
honestly write down shit for the YouTube video and plan the next game.
No, dude, he's definitely planning game 3 because this shit's recorded for him. He's gonna have it. It's gonna be beautifully edited in that video in 6 months from now. But what are you doing if you're Dyl game 3? I kind of think that Dyl's plan wasn't bad. I like the Iron Hands adjustment. Just to throw a wrench into the plans. I don't think you get to bring treads, unfortunately. Don't think it's great here.
No, I don't think Shreds is worth. I think Dyl liked the hands, but also like the trick room turns were like not well taken. What is the word?
Well
They didn't take
used.
advantage of
Yeah,
the trick room turns well, so they might go back to Urshifu, which can hit through like through the protects. Maybe just lead instant Fergraph, have Urshifu in the back,
Yeah.
or just go with the same lead that you know worked for you.
It's so funny. I think Urshifu is like one of the best Trick Room mons of all time. Like I love Trick Room, and I think he's just he makes Trick Room better. As stupid as that is, like I think the best Trick Room teams are where they use like a nice slower Urshifu who's just smacking you through the turns.
No, that makes a lot of sense. You can't protect, but it's kind of usually the main game plan in the trick room.
It is. The double protect is broken at stalling Trick Room, but there's a Pokemon that breaks it. But yeah, I think Dyl can easily win game 3 here. I think Wolf can win. I think Wolf is definitely kind of always on the back foot, it felt like, in both these games, where it's like he has to like get ahead in some way. And in this game it was just those crucial few turns like near the end of Trick Room where he finally got value. And then I mean the timing of the game was perfect. It was beautiful.
No, this is what I'm saying. Like even watching Wolf use it, it feels so unintuitive. Like it feels confusing how he's winning. Like he's just preserving his win conditions so well in like a way that isn't like obvious to me.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I don't think I suck at this game. I think I'm pretty good. He's playing in a way that is so hard to like kind of put a pin on.
I think anyone who tries to steal this team, you're doomed, buddy. Don't do it. I swear.
Or do and become a master like Wolf. But
That's
I'm
true.
very curious if Wolf's gonna like stick with the same leads or switch it up, knowing that like that did not work out for Dyl. So Dyl's probably gonna change the lead.
I don't hate the lead, honestly. Like I do think, like we talked about Wolf maybe switching it up, but like it does put a ton of pressure on turn 1. Whether that's on Giraffe, whether that's on Miraidon, even Iron Treads get shut down by this. So like I do think that it is a good lead. It's just more of like, do you want to run it back and like. Because he does have the best pivots in the game, right? Like, you have the 2 hyper offense guys, and you're like, fuck it. I have the 2 bulkiest, most obnoxious support Pokemon in the back. So you can kind of make any situation good if you're Wolf with that lead.
I do really like that Flutter Koraidon's probably the best lead into opposing like Miraidon. The thing is, Dyl has not led the restricted once in this set.
It's true. I do think Dyl could change it up, but I have liked the approach. I've liked both approaches from Dyl. I liked both the let's set up trick room mode. I liked the roar. The roar was fucking sick, and they managed to get Miraidon in faster than you were really supposed to. So I like the way they're playing it. It's just more of like, I guess there's like just a few turns that they just need to clean up, and then you're just winning. Maybe that low kick turn really just decided it all.
That's so true. Also, getting roared into Miraidon, like it could have been the other one too, right? Like it
Yeah,
could have
either
been
one's
hands.
good, right? Like you don't care. And we're gonna see the game one lead from Dyl. I respect it.
And Wolf's just doing the same thing, knowing that he only has one plan.
I think it's just like in this kind of format though, sometimes that's just how it is, right? Like there's the objectively good lead that you kind of have to force, or you just like that's how you win the matchup. So what do you
Yeah,
think?
I think Wolf knows like these two are the guys that do damage. I have to lead them. If I need to switch one out, I'll do it.
One thing I did like, I don't really, okay, if Wolf does something crazy here, I did like the game one plan. Like, I do think the turn one is fine. I totally think you can just switch to Ensign and attack with Koraidon. That is, like, objectively pretty good, but Wolf says, fuck you, Colin. I'm just going to go for Moonblast here and get the Urshifu.
I want to break the sash. I just want guaranteed damage this turn. I don't want to get the call wrong. I actually do like this play from Wolf, because if we... I was originally going to do the same thing you were saying, switch to Ensign, do the same thing as game one. But then Wolf would have just taken free damage and gotten nothing in return.
Yeah. Dyl actually punished the turn one play, which I do think it was good. But I like this play a lot from Wolf. Now he's in an amazing spot, right? Like, at this point, I think you can... It's weird because of the Terra Ghost, but, like, in theory, you could get a double KO here if you get it correctly.
Ooh, that's tricky, because Dyl could just Sucker Punch if the Koraidon chooses to Terra Fire.
That's true. You could just sucker punch.
I think Wolf is never Terraing here.
Yeah. I think if anything, he does. Again, Wolf does have to be really careful. He knows this, of course, but I do think that these two Pokemon are the key to beating Miraidon. So one of them needs to be healthy. Probably has to be Flutter at this point, which does make this a little bit harder.
I think Wolf really needs to switch out the Flutter Mane, actually, because this Instant isn't Parting Shot, it's U-Turn. So a Sucker Punch U-Turn would effectively get rid of it.
True. That is actually a really good... well, unless you protect it, but you ain't doing that in front of Urshifu.
Nah, no way. I mean, actually, it's totally like
I guess you
possible
could,
because of the Sucker Punch threat. But here we see Dill's going for the Terra, probably on Instant, since
Safe.
you know
It's
Koraidon
safe.
and Urshifu are so low. I like this play from Dyl. Just simple, get the Terra off, so you can actually pivot it around, switch it in on a CC. Sucker Punch fails. It did target the Flutter.
That's huge. That's huge. And now Urshifu's going to go down, and we have no Terra from Wolf, and kind of a wasted Terra. I don't think it's a wasted Terra from Dyl, but like it is just a free resource that Wolf kind of snuck out of the turn. That turn was perfect from Wolf.
Yeah,
Flare
and
Blitz.
Instant can't take out the Koraidon, I don't think. It did.
You're a liar. It did. The Life Orb tick was too much. It's out of here.
Wow, I thought maybe at -1 it could just barely live, but nah, that was it.
Okay, so we have 3 full HP Pokemon versus 3 full HP Pokemon. What a trade.
No, but that was Wolf's restricted for Urshifu.
That's true. I mean, dude, Urshifu's so broken. He's so good. All right,
Okay, that's
Fluttermane.
true.
No, I'm saying
And Wolf has forced the Terra, so this Miraidon's gonna take a Moonblast. Oh, interesting. Going into the Farigiraf.
I guess probably not to take the Moonblast, right? Trick Room is a little less appealing, like a little bit, but like it's still really good in that Fluttermane, so you probably need to set it up.
I do think that you just get the freest Shadow Ball of all time into the No, but this is so scary because if you just get rid of the Flutter, then Miraidon just wins on its own. So Wolf is feeling a lot of pressure to protect here, or just get this turn right. Like you just can't lose the Fluttermane before the Miraidon comes in, right?
Wolf needs to get 1 Moonblast onto this Miraidon. That's it. Holy fuck. That's
Hard
crazy.
switching.
Oh my god, this is gonna eat a Shadow Ball for sure, right?
Yeah, no, this is taking a Shadow Ball blitz. If I
That's
saw that correctly.
so worth. That's so worth. That means he is now not as like, because like before, if you just got it to Miraidon versus the support boys, they're not gonna kill him fast enough. But now it's in range to like start dying to Sludge Bomb, Flare Blitz double ups. This is huge for Wolf.
Ooh, and the special defense drop. This is really good because Wolf has got a speed sandwich right here.
Ooh.
Fluttermane's the fastest thing. Instant is the slowest thing. Now, I don't think Miraidon's quite in range, but we've already seen Wolf like just parting into Amoonguss in Trick Room, and it didn't go that badly.
Yeah, I really like just the protect parting. Just feels super duper safe. There's also still Terra fully alive and well for Wolf here. Miraidon is just healthy enough though to take a Flare Blitz plus to take the Flare Blitz in the sun, which is pretty big. This is gonna go down to margins here. These guys are this is gonna be a tight one.
Yeah, I think if you parting Miraidon and protect, that leaves you open to like a Psychic Draco on the Ensign, which is I think Dill's like only play if Flutter protects here. Otherwise, you kill the Flutter.
Draco's so real onto Ensign this turn for sure.
Because the Farigiraf just switching out. So maybe Dill's worried about the Blitz KOing, but we just saw it not do enough.
What are you doing here? What is this Miraidon doing? I
could
feel
totally
like...
see a Volt Switch, honestly.
Yeah.
Just to reposition. But that means Wolf is in such a good spot. Protecting and getting this Amoonguss in. This is almost exactly like last game where you just like parting the Miraidon and there's no threat. Like no matter what it does to Amoonguss, it's not doing that much.
The Volt Switch isn't bad there. I think Draco, I don't know, Draco wasn't killing. That's the big thing, right? Because like you said, it was very specially bulky. So like, no matter what you do here, it's still not like a free KO.
Nah, you needed to Psychic that slot as well. The important thing here, though, is that since Miraidon is out, it got the Volt Switch off into the Amoonguss. Ensign can come back in again, free of charge. Whereas if the Volt Switch went into the Protect, then you just got to fake out Volt Switch pin, like guaranteed damage. So I actually don't think Wolf is in a bad spot anymore. I think it comes in for free. And remember, Wolf has Terra. That Terra Dark is so good into this Farigiraf.
Oh, you're right. It has no attacks. There nothing but Psychic. That's huge.
Oh, you don't even have to switch necessarily. Well, you don't want to take the Blitz, I don't think. No, you don't have to switch. You can just attack with your Fluttermane, get the Shadow Ball off. That is really smart.
So as long as Wolf gets rid of... if Wolf can get it into a 1v1 of either Amoonguss or Giraffe, or Amoonguss or Ensign versus Giraffe, he will win. So as long as he just keeps pressuring that one slot, he's actually so safe. Helping hand?
This is... Oh, with the Helping Hand. Do you think this can be enough, though?
No way, no way.
Amoonguss is especially defensive, and it is
He's that guy. He's that guy. He's that guy, dude. Instant sucks.
Who is?
Amoonguss is that guy, bro. He's eating this 100% of the day.
Dude.
Oh, shit, he's dead.
No, dude, it's dead. It's dead.
Oh, shit. But now he dies to Shadow Ball.
Ensign's trying to recoil.
Yeah, now he dies
Shadow
to
Ball's
Shadow Ball.
dead.
Sash is intact. You
But
can't fake out.
This is just a giant 50-50 then.
Oh my god, it's so bad.
The Flutter's still a Sash.
It's just a 50-50. Everything came down to a 50-50, right? Because you have to either double... You just have to pick which target Miraidon's going to hit.
Wait, no, Wolf can actually just double attack, and it should be fine.
Oh, because you get two Flare Blitz.
Wolf gets a crit or something. Yeah, you just Flare Blitz Moonblast.
Oh my god. I don't know why I thought Amoonguss was going to live that. That was actually crazy as fuck.
Because Flutter has Sash, so you have to double it.
Yeah, I think he just wins. I think you double. You always double, right?
Yeah, or Fari is just not two-shotting Flutter. So, like, you just win. Like, even if you Psychic the Flutter, Electro Drift Ensign, you should be fine because you get two Moonblasts off.
Yeah, Wolf knows he wins.
Wait, no, that actually might... Oh, it's really close. I don't know anymore. I think it's 50-50. Actually, it's not enough because Moonblast is a 3-hit on Farigiraf.
Oh, you think Farigiraf can beat Flutter in the 1v1?
Yeah, I think it can if it gets an extra turn, right?
Maybe, yeah. There's the Psychic.
Oh, it is targeting Flutter. Okay. Yeah, see that? No, that's not enough. Oh, but the Spadef drop. That makes it enough.
Wolf's freaking out. Oh, wait, that is huge if he... Oh my god, if he would have hit Ensign, or if Dyl hits Ensign, this is so bad. Because of the special defense drop.
The game's over. I think because of the Spadef drop, Dyl wins.
Oh my god, they played that so well. But it hits Flutter, so Ensign is going to win.
Oh, Wolf is popping off like fucking
Dude,
crazy.
Wolf never pops off, bro. He never pops off, I swear to god.
That was the biggest pop-off I've ever seen from him. He knows he wins. He just blitzes Miraidon. That's it. The game's over.
Wolf was so afraid that special defense drop mattered. He was so afraid. Because Dyl almost won. They almost did it. Oh, wait, it was going to be a big matter. if Dyl got that turn correctly, but they did double the flutter, which I think was totally fine. But yeah,
Can I just say this has been an incredible set? Like 3 games of craziness with, like you said, David and Goliath, whatever Bible reference you're
Yeah.
making, I don't know. That this has just been an insane set. Like what an amazing tournament.
you're acting like you don't know who David and Goliath are. Come on. And then the side segment because Dyl knows the game is locked. What a badass way to go out.
This is sick.
Wow. That, I mean, yeah, it was a sick finals. Crazy, like, I mean, even just with Wolfe being Wolfe and then Dyl being a brand new player that almost went all the way. Every game was on a knife's edge. It was so close.
This is an insane season from Wolf, and also like he said all of last year in this format that like because of the format he just wants to use like more standard stuff proven to be good, and then he rolls up with this. So like I didn't expect this at all because he already just won a big tournament. I didn't know he was going. I didn't think he was gonna try, but to show up with this and just take it home is. Dude, there's not many words. Like he literally is just like inspirational to every VGC player. Like we all need to get this good. Like this is the goal.
And I think honestly, like the thing is, a lot of us are trying, and I do think like we're seeing people who can contest him, who are as good, not as good, but like there's people who could beat him in a tournament, right? And I think it's so exciting. I think Pokemon is in such a sick place right now. Like watching every tournament is so fun. I think there's amazing players out there that on the right day they could give him a run for his money, and I think it's just sick right now. But obviously, like Wolf is the GOAT, and it's so sick.
We should
like,
get paid extra, dude. To beat him, we should get paid extra. Extra points, something.
I think it's so sick too that he's still playing and like that he is as good as he is. I think it makes the game just so much more exciting. I love a dynasty. I love a good Tom Brady or Faker, bro. I love that shit. So like seeing
Dude, get that Tom Brady shit out of here. But I know what you're saying. I agree.
Michael Jordan, LeBron, right? Like I love when a player's good and they're showing how high the game, what levels the game can be taken to. And Wolf every single day is showing us. Like, and I mean it's fun to watch his development, right? Like from like you said last year, he's like, I'm gonna use Shadow Horse. I think it's the best guy. I'm gonna use it all season long. And this year's like, fuck it, dude. I'm gonna go crazy mode on him. I have my invite. I'm gonna show him how it's done.
That's true. He already had his invite. This is so stupid.
Yeah,
dude.
he just got an extra one.
This is inspiring us, dude. The Battle Room Dynasty is coming. I'm winning my next event. I hope you will too. So, the Dynasty is coming.
It's time. It's time. But thank you guys so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you guys next time. Please like, comment, subscribe.
Peace.